Have you each do a quick sketch on the business that you're in, and more importantly sort of the big bold idea behind it, what you're trying to do. And I'll just start with you, Emma.
I run A4E. It's an international company. I started it 20 years ago, and our absolute one thing that we try and do is improve people's lives. We work in 10 different countries, and we work with individuals to improve their lives. It's as simple as that, and it's as complicated as that, and we'll do any bloody thing it takes to improve the life of a person. So for example, we'll go out and find jobs for people, we'll do debt advice, we'll sort out the training in prisons so people are getting good training in prisons, we might sort out homelessness, just anything and everything that will improve somebody's life. And of course I can't tell you what it is until I've met the person. How do I know what I'm going to do? But we've probably helped about 1 million people in the last couple of years. So.
Wonderful. And Alison, how about your business?
Our business is a social enterprise, so we run commercial operations to make a profit so that we can have a real social impact. And the social impact that I suppose is most relevant to this conversation is the fact that we want to offer people training programs with salary training, so a job for a year with a built-in training program. So once they leave us, and we have a 94% success rate of people who complete the course, they can then kickstart a career in the logistics industry.
I know you operate according to what we call a triple bottom line, and that you're very focused and rigorous around accounting for 3 separate bottom lines. Can you just describe your approach to that and how you do that accounting?
We have a really clear set of social, environmental and financial objectives, and then we have a clear set of targets, and every month we know how we're performing on the social, environmental and financial targets within the business. And then once a year we produce a report which shows a quantitative report but also a qualitative report that we've got from stakeholder feedback we've gathered throughout the year. So from customers, from staff, from trustees, from lots of different groups who are some way have a stake in our business, give us feedback on our performance. And then because it's a discipline of integrity, because we're a social enterprise and that's what we want to do, want to prove our impact, we publish that once a year.
Said before that you'll do anything to improve a person's life, but nothing that won't improve a person's life. So that's the sort of clarity as a leader, but also does that inform how everybody makes decisions inside your organization? I mean, that kind of clarity around what you will do and what you won't do.
Absolutely, every single person in the organisation has that clarity. If you ask anyone in my organisation what they do, they say we improve people's lives. And before we don't, we have to ring Emma. So there's a very sort of personal thing through it. Yes, we have to gather statistics, we have process, we have all the stuff you'd expect a normal company to have. But in addition to that, you have people who are passionate about making a difference every day they come to work. And if they're not, then leave. It's ever so simple.
Definitely, I think that's the approach we've got as well, on a smaller scale, but values-led. We have all the same systems that you need to run a business, but on top of that, it's very, very clear we want to make a difference to people's lives and to the environment. And again, if we've asked people in the past to leave because they don't fit in and they don't buy into that, because that's what we're about. We want people to come to work and add value and enjoy it.
And your values, you just talked to me a little bit about the specifics.
Well, the staff define them. We spent some time, 8 years ago, with all of our staff in several sessions, getting them to define the language that we would use to describe how we want to work at FRC. So, okay, we sell furniture, we reuse and recycle furniture, but how we want to do that? We want to do that passionately, creatively, bravely, professionally. They define that. Some people actually sketched out the things that are now the logos. Then we look for, some people will call them competencies, other people say they're behaviours that demonstrate those values. And it's so embedded in our company. It's in the appraisal system. We have a reward system attached to it. It's part of your recruitment when you join the company. It's so embedded and it's very, very clear. And if you come to visit our business, then it's pictorial, it's up on the walls. People who've won awards, what those definitions are, those values logos are all over the building.
Is there an example you can think of where you really made a great decision because you had that clarity around?
The 3,000 people that I now employ, for example, they meet people every day and all the rest of it. They can do anything it takes to move that person forward in their life, including spending money. So, for example, I know that a young woman came in one day, she'd been unemployed for ages, but she was a championship climber. And she said, I'll never get a job, but actually, to be truthful, I'm using all my benefit money to be free to climb. And I don't intend to get a job. And a member of staff, piece of genius, said, well, what would you really do? What's your dream job? Well, actually, rope access work, swinging off high towers, enormous money to be made, but the course cost £10,000. And I said, OK, we'll pay for it. Now, for that person, we might get funded a couple of thousand. Yeah? Now, that's what I mean about it was the right thing to do for that person, therefore we did it. Whereas the next person, it might be a little cuddle. It might have been a haircut, it might have been a few kind words that's going to make the difference for that person. And that's what I mean by we have to do anything it takes to help that person move forward in their life. And my staff have to be free to do it. Before you say no to a reasonable request one of our clients might make of us, you have to ring me. And of course I never get any phone calls because that's the message, you know that you have to find a way to say yes, because in the end it might only be money, and if it's the right thing we should do it. And it's so an anathema to normal business people. And it comes out in the wash, because if my staff are busy all day thinking of reasons to say no, then I'm spending money on people busy saying no. I want to spend money on people finding ways to say yes.
You're constantly finding new ways to see out this bigger vision, this bigger idea that you have. So there's a lot of innovation.
Two of the most powerful things I do in my own organisation, because it really has gone from 0 staff to 3,000 people. And people say, well, how do you hang on to that? Every month I meet with about 200 of my staff. They just come randomly to see me at my house, actually. And in the morning, yet again we go through the stories of the business. Some of them might be very new, but in the afternoon they can ask me any question about any subject on the planet. And there's this vast conversation, very, very interactive starts, with people. You can see them actively solving problems in the room there and then. And it's absolutely, people say, well, why don't we think about that? Someone says, we're doing that in our division. Oh, well, I'll speak to you. And this happens every month, 2 days a month. The other thing I do is 15 people, randomly chosen, it could be anybody from any level, come together in my house for one afternoon and we put the world to rights. And I say, tell me the very best bits about the business. Tell me the very worst bits. What's pissing you off? Yeah, because I might be able to fix it. And if I dropped dead tomorrow and you were put in charge, what would you do? Now that kicks off this discussion. It's the most superb way of making sure you protect your culture, and you can smell if it's going wrong. Yeah. You can really smell it by actually hanging out with folks.
You were nodding your head. Do you have something similar going on?
We take people out for lunch on their birthday. This is the 3 directors. So if your birthday's been in November, you and maybe 6 other November babies will all go out for lunch. And we find so many things out about what people like, don't like, lots of gossip as well. But similar to what Emma's trying to do, get to the bottom of some of the things that we can't solve in the business, but people have got bright ideas because they're at the coalface. Yeah. It's really important.